through name, image, and likeness. NIL is a unique opportunity for every Husker fan to have a direct impact on the success of our programs. Through 1890, 100% of your contribution goes to the student athletes. So go to 1890nebraska.com, choose your sport, become a member, and help the Huskers recruit and retain the best. Go Big Red.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Hey, baseball fans, join the Blur Tailgate at Hilton Omaha this June for our 12th annual hospitality event during the College Baseball Championship Series. Book an experience for your clients or employees with an inclusive bar, buffet, TVs, music, and tailgate games. Secure your spot today and let Blur Events take care of all the work so you can enjoy the day. Plus, we're just steps away from Charles Schwab Field. Visit blurevents.com to book your group, buy tickets, or learn about sponsorships. That's blurevents.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination.
Drinking and driving causes serious harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. In 2021, 65 people were killed in Nebraska by a car crash involving a drunk driver. Do not drink and drive. By drinking less, you can still be here for your loved ones. If you or loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Hey, Husker Nation, Matt Davison here with 1890. It's an exciting time to be a Husker fan, and to keep that momentum going, we need your help. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics, and we're doing the same through name, image, and likeness. NIL is a unique opportunity for every Husker fan to have a direct impact on the success of our programs. Through 1890, 100% of your contribution goes to the student athletes. So go to 1890nebraska.com, choose your sport, become a member, and help the Huskers recruit and retain the best. Go Big Red.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Join us this Friday, May 24th for Old School, live from 4 to 6 p.m. for the brand new rooftop at Beer House at 8th and Q in the Haymarket. We're helping unveil their new 40 Torches beer in honor of the 40th year of the Cornhusker State Games. Don't miss it. Old School, this Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. at Beer House.
This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I am a huge guy.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in. Happy Friday. This is the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert, Rico with you. Hello, Rico.
Here.
How's the day?
Great.
Beautiful outside.
Fantastic.
It's a little warm. I went to go put some equipment in our car, in my car, rather, not our car, my car.
Do we share a car?
We do not. Absolutely do
Are
not.
we an item?
We are certainly not.
I'd like to think that we're close enough.
You just told me yesterday, and we have Megan here to confirm that we are not friends.
We're not. But I think we're close enough.
We're still close enough.
We can share a car.
No, we could not. You actually
You're
were
right. You're messy.
Were you the first one to sit in the car?
That's a question for you. I think I was, but I don't know who else sat in your car after you got it. You still have the transits on.
Jake might have been the first one to ride in the car.
You told me I was the first to sit in it.
You were the first to sit in it.
And then I rode in it when we went to go get lunch that one time.
That's right. That was after.
Yeah.
That was after.
That was
Jake.
that you had the tints already.
Yeah. Jake was the
before?
first one to ride in the passenger seat.
There you go. Passenger Princess Jake.
There. Something like that. Your words, not mine. 402-464-5685. Honda Lincoln Hotline, the Starter Heyman text line open for you guys. The entire show today, as well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Allo Channel 961. All avenues for you guys to get in touch with the show. Got a big show planned for you guys. As plenty of stuff to talk about. Husker baseball, first pitch slated for approximately 49 minutes away from now. Thankfully, since they are the 2 p.m. game, the first one of the day. No 10 a.m. games in Big Ten baseball anymore for at least today.
Boo.
Tomorrow, there's a chance because teams might have to play two of them.
Games.
But nonetheless, they only have a 2 p.m. game today.
Excited.
2 p.m. and then obviously the nightcap with Michigan and Illinois in an elimination game later on tonight as well. So 49 minutes away from Nebraska, first pitch against the Ohio State Buckeyes. Had a brain fart.
Yep,
Just
Matthew
completely lost it.
McConaughey's brother on the mound.
Yeah, Mason.
Yep.
That's right. The younger brother, Matthew McConaughey.
Yep.
Different Matthew McConaughey.
As far as we know.
For the most part, I don't think he's a Texas guy. A little bit of a Nebraska guy.
He seems like he could be a Texan.
I don't think so. But no.
Wilboat only recruits Texans. I don't.
Previous assistant at where?
Texas A&M.
Nice job, Rico.
I know things.
I just got to make sure. Got to keep you on your toes.
I don't
for
know a
little bit.
lot, but I know things.
You know, give yourself some credit, Rico.
Pat myself on the back.
What's your plan for the weekend with Memorial Day on Monday?
First things first. Ellie's graduating preschool today.
Cool.
She's got a cap and a gown and everything. We got a ceremony.
Here's
which
the thing.
I will be leaving the show early to go to the ceremony.
That is true. That's right. You're leaving here soon.
Yeah.
That's why it's a big show.
Big show because I won't be here.
Successful show.
Best show of the week.
Well, I don't know. Austin and I doing 54 minutes on baseball might have been the most successful show.
That was a pretty solid 45 minutes.
Yeah, 50 straight minutes.
You guys just went. I was just here.
Shout out to the Royals on the stream.
I was just here to look good.
At that time.
Yeah.
The Royals playing good baseball right now, but Cubs are not. Cubs are in they're batting like 206 as a team over the last some amount of games.
Tough.
Bad. Very bad.
Yankees playing good baseball.
Even without Garrett Cole.
I forgot that he wasn't pitching until the other day when I saw that he was pitching against live batters in his rehab. And I was like, oh, that's a thing. You don't have your ace.
You forgot that Garrett Cole was
I forgot Garrett Cole was a Yankee.
How many Yankees games have you watched this year?
None whatsoever. I haven't watched a single second of a Yankee
Still
game.
speak as a fan.
Yeah, I've kept up. I get the ESPN updates.
Yep.
The MLB app updates.
Every time somebody hits a home run or something.
Yeah, it just pops up. It's like Giancarlo Stanton hit a 125-mile-an-hour single. I'm like, cool. That's what he does. He's not very fast.
Fake fan.
Fake fan. It's okay. This weekend, Ellie's graduation today.
Yep. I was going to ask a question about that. Did you have to buy the
No, they have. No, they have.
Thank goodness.
No, I'm not going to.
Because we would be turning. Yes, you would.
I would have bought it.
You would have bought it.
I would have bought it.
But that would have been turning into the world's turning
that
into
bad?
just
Would that be bad?
a money-seeking place.
But would that be bad if I bought her a cap and gown for her
it'd be
preschool
completely
graduation?
understandable.
She's so cute.
Completely understandable buying a cap and gown for a preschool graduation because also you don't want to be that family that doesn't buy one.
Yeah, don't want to do that.
I think it's
we
more
got her.
so.
We got her a fancy dress too, so she's got a dress under her cap and gown. She loves it.
I think it's more so that you don't want to be the one person or one family that doesn't buy the cap and gown.
Like you talk to other families and they're like, "Oh, we're not going to get it," and you can like kind of tell. You're just like, "You're definitely going to get it."
Yeah,
and
you're
like,
change
"I
your
don't want to
mind.
be the one." So
yeah, it's
everybody.
like,
gets
so
it.
you couldn't buy the cap and gown for your child?
Crazy.
How many's in the graduating class?
I don't know. A decent amount.
What do you know about your child's preschool?
That she goes there and that they send me updates.
Yikes, man. Yikes. Nonetheless,
It's a great preschool.
I know. I'm just trying to get you more involved in your
I don't know exactly.
children's
I know.
preschool
Like I know
experience.
I know the other parents. I know the kids' names. But I don't know how many there are because there are some more. I would say like, let's throw a guess out there. I'd say like 12.
How long are we expecting this preschool graduation to last?
It's not gonna be that long. It's gonna be pretty quick.
Do they just rattle through the names?
I don't know how it's gonna go. I don't know if they're gonna have.
Let
Is there
us
gonna be
know.
a commencement speaker? Who has the best GPA?
402-464-5685. I'm sure there's listeners out there that have gone through the kid graduation recently,
Yeah.
like the either preschool or kindergarten.
Yeah.
How long was it?
I know that Hristina Vuchkova,
Uh-huh.
her son graduated from preschool in Omaha a couple days ago.
That's great.
Shout out to Cristo.
Cristo.
Great kid.
I think they
Full of
were
energy.
they were in Vegas, I'm pretty sure.
I think they're going somewhere back home. Everybody from the Supernovas is like gone somewhere. Brooks up in Oregon.
Yeah, before they go to like overseas.
Yeah.
Because I think Brooks got an overseas deal.
Yeah, something like that.
Potentially.
I don't know the logistics
and then they got to
everything.
make like time to or make a decision on whether or not they want to be love volleyball players or
Yeah, there's a
PVFs.
whole bunch of stuff going on. And then there's a third league starting up next year potentially.
Is it possible there's too many leagues?
Well, we went from 0 to 2 in a year.
Yep.
And now we're going to 3 in 2 years. But the third one is like bankrolled by like European volleyball fans, like European volleyball
Okay.
big money people.
As long as the Saudis stay out of it, you're good. Because then we're talking like live type money.
it's only a matter of time. It's only
before
a
the
matter
Saudi,
of time. Before
Saudi
the-
oil money.
Yeah, before the Saudis are like, you know what, volleyball is pretty cool.
And then we're gonna have the conversation of like, well, you can't blame Brooke Nunaviller for wanting to go.
look, if she had a contract for like $3 million, I don't know what the
that
what a
would be
volleyball
okay.
pay scale would
I mean,
be.
that'd be okay.
Like $3 million, I'd be like, yeah, no, go.
Go. That's what I'm saying.
I
Anyway,
would love to have you stay in Omaha, but also like maybe it'll be an Omaha Saudi bankrolled volleyball team.
Oh no. So we're getting some reaction on the text line about preschool graduation or kid graduation.
Yep.
Somebody says 7563 says or you're the only parents that buy cap and gowns for preschool.
I'd still do it.
You're
'Cause
still
she
gonna
wants,
do
'cause
it.
she wants to. She's excited. She was for like yesterday and 2 days ago. She was like, I'm nervous. She goes, I'm scared.
What could you be scared about?
I don't. That's what I said. I go, what are you scared of? She goes, I'm scared. I go, of what? She goes, I don't know. I'm scared of graduation. I'm like, you'll be.
She's
fine?
comfortable in preschool.
I'm like, you'll be fine. Like it's okay. Like nothing's going to change.
She doesn't want to grow up, dude.
Until
She
keeps
doesn't want
telling us-
kindergarten.
See, we told her, we said, can you stay small forever? And she said, no. God made me to grow up. And I was like, you're right. But then
Nice.
the other day she goes, I want to stay small forever. And I go, you just told me.
She's understanding, dude. Life goes too fast. Raph's 50. You're 30.
I know.
I'm 23.
So old.
Life just goes so fast.
You're like 53 in a 23-year-old's body.
I was actually driving somewhere yesterday, and I thought like I was watching. I drove like through my neighborhood to go out to like a main street,
Mhm.
and there was these kids playing. Oh, it was yesterday morning on the way to work.
Yeah.
I was one of our neighbors he's a younger dude, and he was shooting hoops, and I was like, man, I remember the feeling of like summer's here out of 6th grade
And
and
just-
being like, what do? I don't know. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow morning at whatever time I wake up,
and do whatever.
and I'm going to go outside and I'm going to enjoy my life.
I'm gonna ride my bike to my friend's house. And we're
Not
gonna
that-
hang out there, and then we're gonna go to some park, and we're gonna hang out there. We're just gonna do whatever we want to do.
Not that I don't enjoy life now. I'm great. I'm chilling.
But also, it was so much simpler when you had summers off.
Yeah, and like I started talking about like investment accounts and like
Yeah, you're
and
old.
I'm like, what is going on
You're
here?
53.
53. I gotta get a move on it.
Figure it out.
I gotta get a move on
You gotta
life.
Start that 401k and that retirement plan.
Anyway, 2430 says he just left his son's and it was an hour long.
Okay.
So you're looking to be done by 3.
Okay.
Which is great for the program.
Sounds good for me.
Maybe about 30 minutes too long.
No, not long enough.
Any commencement speaker? Rico,
I'll be
are
the
you,
commencement
Are you the
speaker.
commencement
I'll be the
speaker?
commencement speaker.
Listen, 30 minutes ago, I didn't know how many kids there were in this class, but here I can tell they're all bright, shining stars.
Boys and girls of preschool too.
Preschool too. There it is. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Nebraska's Friday night game because we haven't been able to discuss it quite yet. And want to get the thoughts on the text line. I know various shows have touched on this a little bit. I might have a hot take. The Friday night Nebraska football game doesn't bother me as much as I think it bothers a lot of people.
I'm so glad to hear you say
And maybe it's because in our line of work, like Husker Football Saturday is a whole day thing
Mhm.
of, all right, let's show up at the station. We got the pregame show for a couple hours before kickoff.
Mhm.
Then it's watch every moment of the game, which is enjoyable. Same thing as the fans.
and then it's
Except
like
when they lose.
post game for a couple hours after, and before you know it, you get home and it was like a 2:30 kickoff. It's 9 p.m.
And you're ready to watch Alabama, Georgia.
Yeah, or Pac-12, which is dead after dark.
I'm gonna, man.
But-
I didn't even. Oh no!
So like
When
now,
are we gonna watch after dark?
well, the good thing is there's still games going to be played on the West Coast. So like Fresno State will still be alive, and
Is it gonna be Mountain West after dark? It doesn't hit
Potentially.
The same.
It
It
doesn't-
doesn't hit the same.
on like that Friday nights though, you're going to see Rutgers go across the country twice. They play at Washington and at USC twice on Friday nights.
You know what? Rutgers after dark.
Interesting. It fits
I'd
the whole
watch-
Scarlet Knight thing.
I'd watch that.
It fits the whole Scarlet Knight thing. But no, in all honesty, from like even a fan's perspective, I like it gives. We always talk about like the letdown, right? If Nebraska loses on a Saturday morning, man, you don't really feel like doing anything after the game.
Yeah, you're watching the rest of the games and you're just like, man, this sucks. Like,
I'm
I'm
also-
like you're sad and you're watching. I do this a lot where I watch other teams and they have like a big play or something. And I just
Yep.
go, why can't Nebraska do that?
So, and it was interesting because like I'm interested to see, since this will be Nebraska's first home Friday night game,
Mm-hmm.
what does like downtown look like? I think it's going to be great because you're not going to have hungover. I mean, frankly, I'll just say it: hungover college students going to an 11 a.m. kickoff.
Yes.
Because that's what time an Illinois Nebraska game would have been. Would have been 11 a.m.
You're still going to have
on a Friday night.
it. Yeah.
Hungover.
Yeah.
No, they're going to be primed
Primed and ready to go.
and ready to go.
No,
on
they're
a
gonna be
Friday
hu-
night.
they're
At
gonna
7
be-
p.m.
They're going to be waking up from their drunk naps.
potentially,
So some of them will be hungover. Some of them will be prepared to go.
but also like the
Can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning.
downtown scene's going to be exciting.
It is. Well, is it? Like, because it is a Friday. So, okay. Careful now.
Like it's still Nebraska
So the crowd's going to be full,
It will be.
quote unquote.
Yes,
Quote,
it will be.
quote unquote, another sellout. Yeah, I have feelings. But you have to think how many of the fans fill Memorial Stadium on a Saturday who are from the smaller towns around Nebraska, who, high school football is very important to a lot of people. Some of those smaller towns, they're going to watch the high school games. Are they still going to show up to the Husker game? Are they going to, make the trek to Lincoln to watch that? Or are they going to stay? How many of it's going to suck for like in-state recruiting for that one day of visits because they're going to be playing that day.
You know what you can do? And so actually we got this text on the text line from Scooter from Roca.
Scooter.
Says, Nick, what high school football game are you doing that Friday night? Guess what? We'll do a game on Thursday night. And you know what? The game that we're going to do on Thursday night will be Bellevue West and Omaha West Side. Because guess what? Confirmed. This comes from Sean Callahan. He tweeted this out. Confirmed. Bellevue West and Omaha West Side have officially moved their September 20th game to September 19th.
Yep.
At Phelps Field, so they won't compete against the Huskers football in Lincoln on Friday.
Makes sense. But
And
how many schools
you're
can
not-
afford to do that?
Well, you're not going to
Not
do that
afford,
probably on
but-
the smaller towns.
Yeah.
But in these bigger ones, yeah. You have the second you field. You can have Thursday afternoon, Thursday night,
But how many of the Lincoln
Friday
schools,
afternoon.
there's still going to be some Lincoln schools that are going to have to play that Friday.
Yes.
Which is going to suck.
I just think also, I don't know. I think that a lot of people are making a big deal out of it. I also think that it's important to be realistic. That Nebraska's athletic budget somewhat relies on the gate prices and revenue of these games.
Mm-hmm.
So I just like, and what I mean by that, also not Nebraska's budget, high school budget.
The high school budgets. I knew what you meant.
Like, yeah, you're probably going to say, yeah, let's move it.
Mhm.
If it means getting more fans in, then yeah, you're probably going to move it. Like, even though Fridays, yes, should be reserved for high school football.
Should be.
But also Nebraska makes $60+ million a year in TV media
I mean,
rights.
it was bound to happen at some point. Nebraska doesn't have the cachet of an Ohio State and a Michigan to say, yeah, we're not playing on a Friday. Like you don't have enough power or prestige right now in the league to just go up to the Big Ten offices and just say, look, I know you're scheduling Friday night games. We're not doing that. So until Nebraska gets back to that standpoint, it was bound to happen that you had a home game. You were playing away games on Fridays, seemingly every year. It was bound to happen at least once that you got a Friday night home game. And you know what? It's not the end of the world. It'll be fine. You'll play it, and then you'll continue on with the rest of your season.
What if we end up liking it?
That's going to be a problem.
What if we end up liking having Saturdays free?
I like
Like
having
fans,
Saturdays
I'm
free.
saying.
Yeah.
Football having Saturdays free.
To watch every other football,
Every
and
other
not
football
have
game.
and not have your Saturday potentially ruined by a
And-
potential Nebraska loss.
The also good thing is it's against a fellow mediocre team.
Hello, fellow mediocre kid team.
Yeah, right. Like a handshake emoji.
Hello, fellow
because
kids.
if Nebraska played, Ohio State on Friday, then yeah, that'd probably be a little tougher to get up for and be like, yeah, let's go pack the stadium on a Friday.
But again, Ohio State's not playing on Fridays. They're not doing that.
So I don't know. I think a lot of people are making a big deal out of it. A couple of the other games happening on that day, and this is, week
On
4.
that Friday or that Saturday?
On that Saturday,
Okay.
excuse me, in that week 4. Obviously, you're just about to enter the conference slate at that time. So week 4, September 21st will be the Saturday as Nebraska plays on September 20th. Also, let's look at it this way. Nebraska would be one of 3 games taking place on Friday, September 20th.
All the eyes.
Right? Like that's the
What are the other
conversation
two?
we always had. I'll get to that.
Oh,
That's
sorry.
the conversation that we always had when Nebraska would play like on the Thursday of the first week of the season, or they played in Ireland the week before, was that, all right, you have a chance to prove yourself. Let's say Nebraska can be undefeated going into week 4. Hey, how about that? They're 3-0 and they're playing on Friday night in their first conference game
Everybody's
of
watching.
the 2024 season.
Yeah.
Everybody's watching. So like you can frame it other ways. The other 2 games, Stanford at Syracuse, cross country trip in the ACC,
Oh, I really want to watch that one.
in the ACC. And then San Jose State at Washington State. That's at 9 p.m.
The Sickos committee is going to love those 2 games.
Yeah. Stanford and Syracuse is going to be bizarre.
Sign me up for trees and oranges, dude.
That's an ACC match,
It is. That's a conference match.
conference matchup. Stanford at Syracuse.
I love it. On a Friday. When is Stanford leaving to get there?
Wednesday.
Wednesday?
Early Wednesday morning.
Flying out
Gi-
Wednesday.
give them Thursday off.
Flying out Wednesday, getting to Syracuse, New York.
So a couple of the games on Saturday that Husker fans will be able to watch.
You think they go to New York City and just hang out for a little bit?
I don't know.
Or they go up to Syracuse?
UCLA, LSU.
Ooh.
That's a Saturday game.
No Chip Kelly, though.
Tennessee at Oklahoma. SEC game.
SEC.
SEC game there.
It's going to take a while to get used to some of these.
Let's see. We got Iowa at Minnesota.
Sounds gross. but I'll watch it.
Northwestern at Washington.
Ooh. Oh, it's a purple. Purple out.
It's a purple out.
Whose purple is stronger?
Definitely Washington's.
I don't know.
Big 12 match between TCU and SMU. A Big 12 match
It's a battle of
between
oil money.
Utah and Oklahoma State.
I love
Um,
it. Shout out to Cam Rising.
We have USC at Michigan, which is a 2:30 p.m. game.
That's a Big Ten matchup.
Big 10 matchup there
USC in the big house.
on at 2:30. Right
Can-
smack in the middle of your day.
Can Lincoln Riley handle it?
You're going to wake up. So this is Husker
Man,
fans.
that's
This
a
is what's
great
This is what's going to happen on that Saturday. You're going to start your day off with UCLA at LSU, potentially Northwestern at Washington. Then you will follow that up.
Depends on how you want to torture yourself.
That'll follow up with USC at Michigan. And then probably the night game is Tennessee at Oklahoma.
I don't see any problems with
No
Nebraska.
issues.
I see 0 problems with Nebraska playing Friday now.
There it is. Husker P says, if you win, it's awesome. If you lose, it's more time for misery. I don't care either way, however. Fridays are for high school. I'll go watch a high school game somewhere. Won't even pay attention to the Husker game that night.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you at
So-
all.
Somebody did. Ted said you're going to see about 50 older people in these high school football stands listening to the game.
Oh, yeah.
Fine by me. Celebrate them both.
They're going to stand up
Tune
and
into
start
them both.
cheering. It's going to
Tune-
be like a false start.
Tune into them both. It'll be a good one. Rico.
Yes.
Do you have to go now?
Yes.
Okay, let's go. Enjoy your kid's graduation.
I will. I'll send you pictures.
It's fine. Yeah, you can. That's fine.
That was
I'm
rude.
saying you can if you
No,
want to.
It's too late. You said what you wanted to say.
Tell Ellie congratulations on graduating preschool and that life doesn't get any easier.
I will.
When we come
Hey,
back,
kid, it's all downhill from here.
when we come back, let's preview Nebraska baseball. Also talk a little college football when we come back because, as you guys know, I'm sure, revolutionary decision was made today in college football, college athletics. We'll break that all down when we come back on the Happy Hour.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Join us this Friday, May 24th for Old School, live from 4 to 6 p.m. for the brand new rooftop at Beer House at 8th and Q in the Haymarket. We're helping unveil their new 40 Torches beer in honor of the 40th year of the Cornhusker State Games. Don't miss it. Old School, this Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. at Beer House.
Houses, they're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's home service ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just the professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with only 4 Lincoln locations. Guess what?
What?
There's 5 Lincoln locations now. Oh my gosh. That's 25% more Lincoln locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11th, located right alongside 93.7 The Ticket Studios, 1040 O Street.
Keep summer green with Judson Baleen and Judson Irrigation. More than 40 years ago, Judson Irrigation started taking in orphans. Lawn sprinkler systems installed by a quickie, cheapy summer job, install 'em and forget 'em outfit long forgotten. Call Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
School tells you all about the 4 seasons: spring, summer, and so on. And then there's a way we really tell what time of year it is. Sports seasons: football season, baseball season, or even off season. Well, what's the chocolate season? Well, it's now, of course. And now, and always. Whether you're looking for a caffeinated pick-me-up on the way to work, a little snack on the way home, or you need the perfect gift that's sure to be appreciated, it's time for the chocolate season, y'all. 40th and Old Cheney, or order ahead at thechocolateseason.com. See you there.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Hey, Husker Nation, Matt Davison here with 1890. It's an exciting time to be a Husker fan, and to keep that momentum going, we need your help. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics, and we're doing the same through name, image, and likeness. NIL is a unique opportunity for every Husker fan to have a direct impact on the success of our programs. Through 1890, 100% of your contribution goes to the student athletes. So go to 1890nebraska.com, choose your sport, become a member, and help the Huskers recruit and retain the best. Go Big Red.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Drinking and driving causes serious harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. In 2021, 65 people were killed in Nebraska by a car crash involving a drunk driver. Do not drink and drive. By drinking less, you can still be here for your loved ones. If you or loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Join us each Saturday from 11 a.m. to noon for Youth Football 101 with Tank Perry of the Nebraska Red Wolves of 7-on-7 football. The future of the sport depends on the foundation set at a young age. Hear those stories and more each Saturday from 11 a.m. to noon here on 93.7 The Ticket.
You're listening to the Happy Hour.
We were in the middle of our tournament when my friend John said he found a body in the bushes over there.
With Nick Sainert.
I ran over there because I'm a healing monk to try and help, but obviously my magic wasn't strong enough because the dude's body was missing a head.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
So my friend decided to try and use a necromancer spell, which didn't work, which I knew it wouldn't.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
And apparently we contaminated the crime scene because that spell uses a lot of glitter.
That is right. Welcome back into the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sander with you. Rico stepped out. Strick will join me in less than 10 minutes. And so we will just pass the time talking a little baseball as Nebraska baseball gets ready in about 22, 23 minutes or so. And they'll get going against the Ohio State Buckeyes. A little bit of a revenge opportunity for Nebraska. And I said it earlier this morning. I'm going to reiterate it. Just really message to the guys. It's got to be the empty the tank type of feeling, right? Because so Nebraska just released the lineup that they're going to go out with. And it looks pretty similar, right? Looks pretty similar as we would used to see. And they changed it up a little bit on day one. It was kind of surprising because on day one, you saw guys like Will Jeske get the start, who's a true freshman. And you saw Cole Evans get the start on Friday, or excuse me, on Tuesday rather. And this time around tonight, you have, it looks very similar. Overbeek leading off, Case Sanderson in the 2-hole, Karen in the 3-hole, Columbus hitting as the DH in the cleanup spot. Gabe Swanson, who got some really good swings off of Fagler on Wednesday against Purdue, hits 5 tonight in the Nebraska order. And on the mound, we know it. Mason McConaughey, right? 7-3 on the season. He's had a really nice year. In a season where Brett Sears obviously wins Big Ten Pitcher of the Year, Mason McConaughey has had a really, really nice year as the number 2. It has a lot of the Chance Roach type of feel for the fans that were watching a couple of years ago when Chance Roach was Nebraska's number 2 guy. A little bit of a Jace Kaminska as well, because as we know, last year, Emmett Olson was really the number 1 guy. Emmett Olson ends up getting drafted, and then Kaminska's the number 2. That's the type of season that Mason McConaughey is having, it feels like, where he's kind of, I don't want to say in the background, but you kind of forget how good he's been all season long because of what Brett Sears has done. And Sears obviously has been exceptional all season long. 9-0, a record, Big Ten Pitcher of the Year, rightfully so, and has led Nebraska to where they're at on the mound, especially in a year where I think going into it, we also didn't really know what to expect. Brett Sears a couple years ago was a starter, then spent some time in the bullpen. And I remember we were having Lance Harvell on the show right before their season opener. And it was like, what are some guys that maybe we can look at on the mound or just leaders of this team? And they mentioned Brett Sears. And now we're seeing it come to fruition right now that we have an entire regular season and almost the Big Ten tournament under, our belt and watch, is that Brett Sears is the number 1 guy, but then not very far behind him, Mason McConaughey certainly picking up his weight. And Nebraska is going to need that because the hypothetical schedule for Nebraska going forward, if they get the job done today, which once again, from a talent standpoint and from a consistency standpoint, I think Nebraska could. And what I mean by that is on Tuesday in the game opener, or in the opening game against Ohio State, things were just different. And whether that was because of rest or Will Bolt said that he changed the lineup a little bit because some guys just got better swings off of lefty arms, whatever the actual reason was, and let's go off of what Will Bolt said, is because of
swings that were against lefties. He felt like some guys gave Nebraska a better chance than others. Let's talk about that. They then went on Wednesday, faced a lefty against the Purdue Boilermakers, and got to him pretty well. And it started with a discipline at bat by Gabe Swanson, who has had an up and down, a roller coaster of a year. Gabe Swanson 2 seasons ago really broke out and was a shining star for Nebraska baseball. Then this year has kind of a roller coaster. Didn't see him a whole lot throughout the regular season, played sparingly throughout conference season as well. But now comes off the schneid and is able to perform. And that's what you're going to need in postseason play. The most important thing in postseason. I was watching the SEC tournament earlier today since there was no day games on. And I mentioned that on day one of the SEC tournament, you had both Kentucky lose to LSU and you had Arkansas lose to South Carolina. And in the SEC tournament, LSU and South Carolina are both 2-0. So I was watching the winner's bracket game today. And South Carolina had just hit a grand slam to go up 5-1. And it's still in the middle innings, so it was still plenty of time left. LSU comes back, and it was the perfect display of just team baseball, because you had one guy come up, and he was like 3rd or 4th in the lineup, and he hits a single, gets on base with just a barrel up the middle, single. The next guy, double into the gap. He scores from first. Okay, so now it's 5-2, South Carolina, after a guy hits a grand slam off of a new pitcher into the game on the first pitch of his appearance. And you're going, if you're LSU, man, here we are as the 11th seed. That's right, the defending national champion, led by Jay Johnson, is the 11th seed in SEC baseball. Had tough year for LSU so far. But in postseason, timely hitting, team first at bats, throwing strikes and competitive pitches on the mound and allowing your defense to work. Because just as much as I talk about the batter not trying to do too much, from a pitcher standpoint, you don't have to either. Allow your defense to work. Trust the guys behind you, and everybody can get into a rhythm and into a routine, rather. And so with all that in the back of your mind, talking about this LSU South Carolina game really quickly, is you had LSU then, they hit another guy, or they got another guy to get a hit right back. And so it's in a blink of an eye, South Carolina changes pitchers, and they saw their 4-run lead that was got on a grand slam dissolve into a 2-run lead. And then Jay Johnson pinch hits for the 7th hitter in the LSU lineup, brings in a true freshman, and the true freshman ends up coming up to the plate, sees 2 really, really competitive pitches outside for ball. So it's 2-0. Then it's 3-1. And as we know, hitters count, right? And understanding the scouting report against you, the freshman comes up and reads a slider out of the pitcher's hands and yanks it over the fence. Boom, tie game from a true freshman. And I say all this and I tell that story of what just happened just less than an hour ago, because when you look at Nebraska baseball, I think it's the perfect example of what they're going to need to do if they want success in postseason play, both in the Big Ten tournament and in regional play next week, is you're going to need guys that have been on the schneid or have had a tough season to step up. And it's easy to say it, and it's easy to say, yep, when that moment comes, I'm ready, coach. But that's what separates the teams that are in Omaha as the final 8 teams, and that's what separates the ones that go home early. Arkansas struggled with that this week in the SEC tournament. They struggled to have guys show up outside of their usual stars. Nebraska, on Wednesday, who showed up? Gabe Swanson, a guy that has not been all that consistent. You could say the same thing about Drew Christo on the mound. Brett Sears does his job, allows 2 runs, right? 2 hits, and gets you 6 innings of work. And then Will Bolt is able to hand the ball to Drew Christo and say, we just need 3. Get us 3 innings. And Christo was able to come in and slam the door shut on the Boilermakers against some pretty good hitters as well. So that's what you're going to need tonight and going forward. Mason McConaughey, go out, have a quality start, right? You don't have to, we're not, if you're Nebraska, you're not asking for a complete game shutout. Certainly that would be nice and welcomed because it takes a little bit of the pressure off of Nebraska's offense. But you're asking for a quality start. limit the damage when there is damage, limit the free passes, and try to let your defense do a little bit of the work, because that makes your life easier as a pitcher. It can also, it doesn't make you have to be perfect. And so that way your pitch count stays relatively manageable as well. McConaughey, this will be his last outing before regionals next weekend, barring some crazy situation to where they pull him after an inning or two and he has pitch counts left later in the weekend. That is, empty the tank. And I was getting made fun of earlier this morning because I was saying empty the tank about 20 times, and I'll say it again. It's empty the tank time. And if you are Caleb Clark, or if you're Casey Dice, or Jalen Worthley, or Rand Sanders, same thing. And whatever that role is for you, if that is 45 pitches is my limit and I need to give the best 45 pitches that I can, or even if it's 15, or if you come in with 2 outs in the 7th inning against a lefty hitter and you're a lefty thrower just to get that final out, it's that old saying of like the sum of all the parts is greater than one, or whatever it is. That's what you're getting at. It reigns true for the at-bats piece. It reigns true for the guys on the mound, because Nebraska's potential schedule features not only today's game, you'd have to have 2 tomorrow, and then you'd also have to have 1 on Sunday in the Big Ten championship game. And I don't think that's putting the cart in front of the horse. I think that's just being realistic, in that the guys know and they're aware of what challenge lies ahead of them. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you're going to need guys that maybe haven't stepped up the most consistent amount of times to step up this weekend. And you're saying flush everything that happened in the regular season, come in with this confident and positive mindset, and do the job. And so Nebraska, once again, you can talk. I mean, think about the momentum that's there for the taking for Nebraska baseball. Not only if they're able to win today, but also if they win the first one tomorrow, and then who knows, the second one tomorrow. And before you know it, there you're on a 4-game winning streak. And not many people are talking about the embarrassing loss to Ohio State on Tuesday night. They're talking about, okay, what's the plan to win a Big Ten championship tomorrow? And not to mention the lack of postseason success for Nebraska baseball the last couple of years. Man, it'd feel good, not only as a fan, probably for you guys, but also for Will Bolt and his staff, to kind of get out from under that dark cloud of, man, we just haven't been able to win once we've gotten there. Missed the tournament in 2022, missed the NCAA tournaments, obviously, in 22. You make the Big Ten tournament. You feel like maybe you didn't play well enough in the regular season. You could have been seated higher, but you weren't. You gave a good effort, but you lost to the eventual Big Ten champion in Maryland 2 out of the 3 times. You beat Rutgers in the opening round last season. And it's like, man, you feel like, yeah, you know what? We've kind of missed out on some opportunities. Tuesday was certainly a missed opportunity. You bounced back well. And now today, here in less than 15 minutes with a familiar lineup, a familiar arm on the mound, and in relatively good shape with the help of Sears and Christo on Wednesday. All right, let's have a strategy and plan in place on how long guys' leashes are going to be, what's pitch counts looking like, who's available today, who does Nebraska want to save for tomorrow if it's in an emergency situation. Got to win today. So yeah, you're probably exhausting quite a few arms today if you need to. But also, Ohio State, that was an uncharacteristic performance on Tuesday. This is also a team that lost 14-7 to Indiana yesterday. And that is why they're an elimination game today. Nebraska has a chance to continue to forget about Tuesday's game. And they probably already have. But show that you're the better team. You can show that Tuesday was a fluke and uncharacteristic of you, just as uncharacteristic was 15 runs for Ohio State. And get back ready to work tomorrow morning against Indiana. Because once again, there's another test. You get Thursday off, which was great. But now it's time to get back to work. Mason McConaughey on the mound, 7-3 on the year, and has a pretty good chance against the Huskers, because now we're getting to this point of the tournament to where teams have played 3 games. This is their 3rd game. Pitching depth is going to be a little thinner. Leashes might be a little bit longer. And with that, if Ohio State elects to leave a pitcher in there, Nebraska's got to make them pay. And part of that also, discipline at bats early in the ball game, to where you're saying,
We're going to see this guy, make him throw 25, 30 pitches in an inning, and don't give him the luxury of saying, nice job, you only got through an inning with 9 pitches. That's where Nebraska can run into trouble. Undisciplined at bats, swinging at balls in the dirt, lack of just awareness on the base pass, those little things magnified in the Big Ten tournament and in postseason play in general. All right, let's go ahead and break. 10 minutes until first pitch. We'll keep you updated. I'll be hanging out with Strick later today for 2 to 4 on the block, filling in for Austin Norman today. Just a reminder, DP and Jay and the guys from Old School out there at Beer House tonight from 4 to 6 p.m. Celebrating Nebraska Sports Council, the Cornhusker State Games. So they're going to be hanging out at Beer House. 8th and Q in the Haymarket. They just opened up a rooftop bar. That's where we're going to be. Super excited to see it. So I got to get out of here about 3:30 or so. But we're going to be able to go out there, set up, and be hanging out with you guys from 4 to 6 p.m. tonight from Beer House. So come on down, enjoy a beverage, come say hello, say what's up to DP and Jay, and let's enjoy a Friday afternoon. It's beautiful outside. It's going to be a great day to see the Beer House newly open rooftop. It's going to be a great spot for football Saturdays or football Fridays, as we just talked about in the first segment. I bring in Eric Strickland coming up next for the crossover as we get you ready for On the Block coming up next on the Happy Hour.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Keep summer green with Judson Bylene and Judson Irrigation. More than 40 years ago, Judson Irrigation started taking in orphans. Lawn sprinkler systems installed by a quickie, cheapy summer job, install 'em and forget 'em outfit, long forgotten. Call Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Hi, it's Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it's truck month at Koppel, and we want to sell them all. Choose between 0.9% APR or as much as $8,000 off list price. Yes, you heard right. That's 0.9% APR or as much as $8,000 off list on select new GMC and Chevrolet inventory. So please make that money-saving drive to Koppel in Louisville or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with approved credit must trade and finance.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with only 4 Lincoln locations. Guess what?
What?
There's 5 Lincoln locations now. Oh my gosh. That's 25% more Lincoln locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11th, located right alongside 93.7 The Ticket Studios, 1040 O Street.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
The Nebraska Neurosurgery Group, led by Dr. Daniel Tomes and Dr. Benjamin Bixeman, is committed to providing the best care for all of your neurosurgery needs, like minimally invasive spine procedures, peripheral nerve release, brain surgery, including tumor removal and brain injury management, and more. The Nebraska Neurosurgery Group has outreach clinics throughout Nebraska and northern Kansas. Schedule your appointment with the region's top neurosurgeons at 402-904-4729. At the Nebraska Neurosurgery Group in Lincoln on South 27th Street. Or check out the website, nebraskaneurosurgery.net, for a full list of services and outreach clinics.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
NEPCO is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mixed Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. NEPCO offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From Nebco's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
This is Coach Bill Bush. You all know my passion for Nebraska. Having coached all over the country, I can honestly say there is no place like Nebraska. You know where there's also no place like? Midwest Bank. Midwest Bank has proudly served Nebraska for over 70 years, and they're located in 9 different communities. Midwest Bank is ready, willing, and able to meet all your personal, business, and agriculture needs. Your community, your bank, and mine, Midwest Bank. Find out more at Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
Join Main Street Beatrice for their annual Taste of Spring Beer, Spirits, and Wine Festival on Saturday, June 1st from 4 to 7 p.m. Enjoy an afternoon of unlimited tastings of Nebraska beer, spirits, and wine tasting at Charles Park near downtown. There's something for all palates, and you only pay your entry fee. Food and snacks are available for purchase at the event, as well as off-sale beer, wine, and spirits from vendors. This fun day is for adults 21 and over only. Buy your tickets at mainstreetbeatrice.org.
Hello.
Angela, we have to break up.
But why?
Because you're a robot and I'm just a guy trying to get better internet.
It's Aloe Fiber, isn't it? I always knew you wanted faster speeds. My contract isn't good enough for you.
Face it, Angela. They let me talk to real people.
Press 4 to break my heart. Oh wait, you already did.
Visit aloefiber.com to switch today.
By now, most of you know how important the Honda of Lincoln sales and service team are to the Lincoln market. Hello, Charlie Stone here, and joining me is Andy Goodyear from Honda of Lincoln to tell you about the great news they just received. Andy, please tell us all about it.
Each year, the Lincoln Journal-Star has an award program called the Lincoln Choice Award, where the customers in Lincoln get to choose the best places to do business. Great pleasure I get to announce that Honda of Lincoln has won the award for buying new cars, used cars, automotive repair, and even oil changes.
That is amazing, Andy. Any more good news?
Yes, there is, Charlie. We now have more than 100 new Hondas in stock, with hundreds on the way, and a huge selection of all makes and models on our pre-owned lot.
Incredible. Maybe it's time you come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
You're listening to the Happy Hour.
Hola.
With Nick Sainert.
¿Tú eres un bueno worker?
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
Sí, yo muy bueno worker.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You speak English? Yes, I'm really good at English. Okay, good. Me too. Get in the car.
Welcome back into the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert with you, and we bring in Stricky. Stricky, what's happening, my man?
What's up, man? How are you doing today, Nick?
I'm doing well. I'm excited for the next hour and a half, my man. It's going to be a good one, as always. I always enjoy hanging out for a little bit with you. You still got me? Stricky?
I would say I happen to do the same, man. So it's going to be I can hear you. Can't hear me?
Yeah, now we can. Now we can. It must have just lagged for a moment.
Okay.
No,
yeah.
we good. We good now.
I was saying, I was saying I absolutely look forward to it, man. We have a good time whenever we get a chance to work together.
Yeah, there must be. Is there a little bit of a lag between us right now?
Oh, it might be. It's a little bit, but I'll have it fixed by the time we get to
Cool.
on the block. There's no doubt.
Yeah, we good. Stricky, I got to ask you a baseball question really quickly here. I don't know if you've seen some of the bad umpiring calls that have been made, batter interference and stuff. So there was one in the Chicago White Sox Baltimore Orioles game that ended the game. But then in the Big Ten tournament, there was one just yesterday between Michigan and Iowa. And Iowa's season actually was ended because of this call it was in the first round game. Iowa they said that Iowa's base runner sliding into second made contact with the second baseman for Michigan. And they ended the season because you look on the replay and there was no contact made. The guy's foot wasn't even on second base.
And so they called not only the base runner out, but also the hitter going to first, game-ending double play because of base runner interference. And that's how Iowa's season was finalized.
And there's no way to replay that.
Nope.
Yeah, that's horrible. And look, I don't even think that that's where it all ends. I think that's bad in itself. But I've been watching some of these cats strike zones.
Hey,
and I feel bad for. I mean, I'm talking about batters like if your strike zone as an umpire is so egregiously bad, you as a hitter, you have no chance because you have no clue of what to be a strike. Like, just think about it, right? We take shots, as a basketball player, and we take hundreds and hundreds of shots, which creates what we call rhythm, or creates a form of consistency that we're able to have. Like, even today, I could go out and shoot and still make a high clip just because of all the hundreds and thousands of shots I've taken over the course of my life in practice.
Yeah.
In baseball, it's the same. You've seen pitches, sliders, curves, fastballs, two-seamers. You've seen them, and you've seen where they landed. Now you've got the box, so you can go back and watch film, and you can mentally make adjustments as to what you're seeing, And when these umpires are calling stuff way out of the zone, it can mess you up, man. It can mess you up for a few games.
And it is even more difficult now as a hitter because obviously the scouting reports are out, and now that you're in the college, conference tournaments, you're talking about this is now maybe your 8th at bat against a school or 16th at bat against a school if there was a 3-game set. Like, you're talking about they have a lot of work on you, and you might understand the scouting report of, okay, I every time it's 0-2 against me, I know I struggle with the fastball in on the hands. They're going to throw it my way. I need to be ready for it. But then on top of that, if you said there's inconsistencies with the guy calling the balls and strikes behind the plate, that just throws a whole nother wrench into the system.
Yeah, I mean, because just think about somebody running a tight two-seamer on you, and it's off the plate.
Yeah.
But you kind of flinch because it's tight, but they call that a strike. Or they run one, a changeup that runs way low and outside, and you're like, wait a minute, like I know my zone. There's no way I'm getting to that. How is it? And then you go back and watch the film, and you're like, wow. And so it begs the question: is it bad training?
Mm-hmm.
Is it bad? I don't know what they call them in baseball, but umpire commissioners. I don't know what they call them.
Yeah.
Are they hiring? Just is it nepotism? Is it a good old boy network? Are you only hiring the homeboys? I don't.
That's so fascinating because here's the thing: like, you and I have conversations all the time whenever we're watching Nebraska basketball games of like training, right? And that's a big part that's missing in like college basketball with some guys is just the lack of just knowledge of rule books, of situational awareness. I think is a big part too.
Yeah.
When to maybe swallow the whistle and maybe not start the game so aggressive on blowing the whistle, like, and so quick to it. I think there's a lot that could be fixed just in refereeing across all sports. I think it's fascinating though, because with baseball, like, also we always talk about like doing your job and like with at bats bunting, there's kind of where a strike zone is going to be. And like, I remember one little trick that I always used was like, okay, when I need a bunt, let's put the bat at the top of the strike zone. And I know for a fact in my head that if that pitch is above my bat, I know it's a ball. I know to pull back, right? So like there's like little pieces that guys can use to kind of have a familiarity with the strike zone. But once again, if there's inconsistencies there, then it makes it tougher on the batter. And I think also one thing is how the catcher operates behind the dish, because there's also a manipulation piece of it. I think if you're a catcher, to where, okay, in the first inning, I know I'm not going to get a ball that's 2 baseball widths outside of the plate or off the plate. But if I continuously work outside, and if slowly, let's say in the first inning, I'm going to try to just only get corner. And like, this is something that I did also obviously at a lower level, but It was, all right, first and second innings, I'm focusing on strictly just the strike zone. And if my pitcher was consistently able to just paint, then by third inning, I'm going to move out half an inch. And by the seventh inning, the umpire will slowly start to, without even realizing it in their head, and especially at the high school level, slowly start to, oh, that's a strike. He hasn't moved outside. And before you know it, you're getting ones that are called in the other, not in the other's batter's box, but on the chalk. You're getting ones that are 2-3 baseball widths outside of the actual strike zone. And it makes it, number one, more frustrating on the hitter. But number two, it makes your pitcher not have to be so perfect. And that's your job as a catcher, is to not only help your pitcher out, but also in a way manipulate the umpire.
That's a fact. Well said. You're absolutely right. And it's smart. It's smart, but it's no different than, your boy, Lay Flop.
Oh, yeah, that's my boy. Yeah, my boy, of course.
It's no difference of what they've done with that. James Harden and LeBron and those guys created this, just run in, dive in, throw your hands up, and, and it took some time for them to get through that. But for a while, they was manipulating the referees. And, finally the league office is like, hey, come on now. You can see it. This is probably one of the more physical. This is going back and starting to look like it was back when I played, the way that they're allowing it in the playoffs.
And it's been one of the more, not enjoyable, because that's not the right word, but for the casual fan, and the reasons that they always provided for why they didn't want to watch the regular season was because of the softness, right? And the change in play from maybe what they're accustomed to. Now we're hearing the opposite this playoff series, as it's no, this is much more physical, right? Refs are allowing them to play. We're seeing a little bit more physicality in the game again. True basketball. And plus the games have been good for the most part. So you're even starting to reel in those casual fans again.
Yeah. I think it was a smart move. It was a necessary move. They needed to do it. A lot of people were very frustrated. They were looking at the All-Star game, and they've been in over years now, and they've been looking at All-Star games, playoffs. They've been looking at some of these scores. You're getting in the 130s, the 120. Come on, man. Yeah. That's crazy. That means there's no defense being played. I like the free throw numbers too. In that 15 to 20 range, maybe. A lot of them have been around there, that kind of 15 to 20 range, and it's making the game a lot better. There's not crazy discrepancies, except I think there was one.
It's still the referees having control of the game, right? We talked about, we said it just a couple minutes ago, or I said it a couple minutes ago, of like, all right, swallow the whistle and understanding situations and awareness and stuff like that. That doesn't mean don't be a referee. Don't just be out there running up and down the floor. That's not what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is to have a control on a handle on the game, but don't allow your responsibility to get into the way of basketball in its purest form, I think. And they've done a much better job this postseason. Stricky, got good show lined up. It's going to be a lot of NBA here in the first hour or so. Definitely want to get your thoughts on Jaylen Brown's 40 burger last night. I want to, if it's okay with you, start there when we come back to start on the block, just because Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, I was having the conversation this morning, they're a duo that's been able to make the two superstar system work, where in other cities and other organizations, that has not been the case. We saw it in Phoenix. We've seen it in other places, Philly, even not Houston. Dallas is finally Brooklyn. Thank you. So there's a lot of other places where they haven't gotten it to work, but Boston consistently for almost 10 years now has been able to get the duo working with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. So let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we're going to be joined on the block. Stricky will open things up for us, and I'll be hanging out with Stricky up until about 3:30 or so before we head over to Beer House 8th and Q in the Haymarket. That's where Old School with DP&J will be located at today from 4 to 6 p.m. Going to be a good one, as we'll be on the rooftop. Come on by, say hello. But first, it's On the Block coming up next on 93.7 The Ticket.
May 24th for Old School, live from 4 to 6 p.m. for the brand new rooftop at Beer House at 8th and Q in the Haymarket. We're helping unveil their new 40 Torches beer in honor of the 40th year of the Cornhusker State Games. Don't miss it. Old School, this Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. at Beer House.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875